I'm lucky enough to live a pretty comfortable life. I graduated from a good school with no student loan debt. I have a job that pays well, and more importantly, that I enjoy. And I've been blessed with good health, and until recently, I've had moderate success with relationships. My girlfriend and I broke up about a month ago. Well, she broke up with me. She complained that I'm too indecisive. I can't fault her for that, it's true. At first she didn't mind it, and even enjoyed getting to make most of the decisions. But after a while, she grew weary. It's one thing to repeatedly have to pick the restaurants every time we wanted to go out, but when it came time to talk about our future, I couldn't make up my mind on whether or not I wanted to marry her. This was the last straw. Holly basically said we either commit to a life together or break up, because she wasn't interested in wasting time on a relationship with no future. Naturally, I waffled, so she ended it. Like I said, I couldn't be mad at her for it, but in a way, it was a last straw for me too. I decided that I was sick of being so uncertain all the time, and I started researching ways to overcome this behavior. Why not talk to a therapist, you might wonder. I have a psychologist that I see from time to time for anxiety, but for something that was immediately affecting major portions of my life, I thought it couldn't hurt to supplement her advice. So it was off to the internet I went. Most of the articles I found were useless, self-help, trivial, simply saying, be confident in yourself. Yeah, okay, because it's that simple. Page after page was like that, and I was just about to give up when I stumbled across a site discussing an app called YourLife. Apparently, it was a fairly simple app. The information I gathered from reviews said basically you just feed it choices, and it randomly gives you one. Over time, it aggregated the data to make its output better tailored to you. It only had 43 reviews, but most of them were positive. The only real complaint I saw was from a user named Lavender Gooms, who said, "App crashes way too often, not worth it, it will wreck your system." But anything you install is going to have glitches, and with only one complaint, it was easy enough to make me want to install YourLife on my phone. As I suspected, it was pretty basic. It asked for the usual demographic info, age, sex, etc. Had you accept the terms and conditions, privacy policy, and then you're ready to go. I tested it out immediately by asking what to watch, Netflix or Hulu. I put the info, and it quickly spat out Netflix. The screen displayed that, an OK button, and that was it. It could have been done on quick basics, so it wasn't hard to see why the app wasn't more popular. Over the next week, I used it fairly often. Do I want to get gas at BP or Kroger? Pizza or burgers? It was nice to have something picked for me, so I didn't have to do it myself, and I quickly grew fond of it. I was keeping an eye out for glitches and didn't have any until one of my daily coffee runs. While I was waiting in line and eyeing the pastry display, I asked YourLife, blueberry or chocolate chip muffin. It said blueberry, so I went with that. I sat down at the table and cut the muffin in half to put on some butter. To my great annoyance, I saw that there weren't any blueberries inside the muffin, only on top. Some people would complain and ask for another one, but I'm more the type to fume quietly and let a trivial inconvenience put me in a bad mood. I was quietly fuming when my phone started vibrating. I picked it up to check it, and I saw a notification. Unfortunately, YourLife has stopped working. Report, wait, close. Recalling the user report of bugs, I hit report. When I looked up from my phone, I was startled to see that I was back in line. The cashier I had just seen smiling at me. "Hi, what can I get for you today?" She asked cheerfully. What the hell just happened? I stood there awkwardly for a few moments until she cleared her throat and asked, "Sir, do you need a moment to decide?" Unsure of what to do, I took my phone back out. YourLife had opened back up and had the blank entry page open again. I typed in blueberry or chocolate chip. This time it told me to get the chocolate chip. I was confused and disturbed, but I acted like nothing had happened and went along with it. Ordering again, but this time switching out the muffin flavor. Maybe I had a weird daydream. I was usually sleep deprived, so that wouldn't be out of the ordinary. I shook it off and once again sat down to eat. I was pleasantly surprised to see my muffin bursting with chocolate chips. Still rattled, I wasn't sure if I should leave and get out of there to clear my head, or sit at the table and compose myself. I asked the app, and it said to leave. I headed to my car and began fumbling for the keys. I went to put my coffee on the car roof and missed, splashing hot liquid all over my shoes and legs. Fuck, I yelled. Then I paused immediately. My phone vibrated, stomach churning. I pulled it out to see the alert. Unfortunately, your life has stopped working. Report, wait, close. I stared at the notification for a few moments, then slowly hit report. Instantly, I was a few feet away from my car, coffee intact in my hand. My mind was reeling. What do you even think when something like that happens? My instinct was to blame the app, but that can't be possible. This couldn't be happening. It had to be some bizarre form of deja vu I didn't understand. But it wasn't. It kept happening. At first, it was so disturbing and surreal that I couldn't appreciate it. But within a few days, I grew to love the ability to take back decisions. Curse words yelled at my co-workers were erased. Traffic was avoided. It was great. But there were limitations. If I hadn't asked for advice, it didn't do anything. I figured that out when I dropped a glass and it didn't unshatter. So I began to ask it about everything to avoid a hangover. I asked it yes or no before each drink. Wanting to avoid certain people? Do I pause at the water fountain before I get on the elevator, or take it now? I was fascinated. Then earlier today, Holly messaged me. She wanted to get dinner and talk. Before even replying, I asked YourLife if I should. It said yes. This repeated itself for every message, and we ultimately decided to meet up. We got together at our usual bar and picked a quiet booth in the corner. After a few minutes of awkward small talk, she got around to the point. She wanted to try and work out our problems. We'd been together for 6 years, and after investing that much time in someone, it's hard to walk away. After consulting my new little gadget, I agreed. Feeling hopeful, we went back to her place to properly make up. I'd been messing around on my phone all night, asking if things were a good call or not. Holly isn't an idiot, she noticed. But I lied and said there was a work crisis I had to deal with. But meeting with her was so important to me that I left the office to see her anyway. Slick, right? But that collapsed when we were getting down and dirty, and I pulled out my phone. Annoyed, she snatched it out of my hand, barking, "What are you doing?" I hadn't hit the submit button yet, so she must have looked at the screen and seen my message of, "Am I sure I want to have sex with Holly, or should I stop?" Because her face twisted into a look of confusion. Frantic to dodge having to explain, I grabbed her arm to yank the phone out of her hand. The force of my movement caused her to fall off the bed head first, her neck letting out a sickening crunch when she hit the ground. She didn't scream or get up. Panicked, I leaped over to her, yelling, "Holly, Holly, are you okay? Wake up, wake up." But she didn't move. My phone was still clutched in her hands, and when I reached for it to call 911, I saw that notification. Unfortunately, your life has stopped working. Report, wait, close. Breathing a sigh of relief, I thought it's okay, I can fix this. But I paused, because there was another feeling that was even greater than the relief. Delight. Seeing her crumpled, lifeless body had stirred something in me that was greater than any happiness loving her ever provided me. This felt good. This felt right. Smiling a little, I pushed report. We were instantly transported back to the bed, furiously making out. This time when I took out my phone, I asked it, "Do I want to strangle Holly or slit her throat?" It made its selection, and I felt more pleasure than I thought possible as I choked the life out of her. It was invigorating. Anyway, I'm posting here because I'm curious. Has anyone else tried downloading the YourLife app? And more importantly, before I hit report again, how should I kill Holly this time? I'm running out of ideas.